Hello, and welcome to the Snowflake Horizon demo where I'm about to show you and demonstrate a very nice integration between partners of Sigma Computing for your BI and analytics solution, Atlan Data Catalog as your data catalog metadata management solution, Alter as your data security platform solution, and Snowflake as your cloud data warehouse. We're going to start with a day in the life of just a normal user who's consuming data from Snowflake via the BI and analytics consumption layer in Sigma. Here is an example of Plug Electronics, a hypothetical company who has a very elegant dashboard already created in Sigma that gives me mini metrics, a lot of different features and capabilities that are awesome in Sigma. But I'm not here to demonstrate every single great feature and capability and outcome of all of these solutions. I'm here to show you the integration between them all. If you have questions about these specifically and you want to dive deeper into each one specifically, please reach out to your account representative or your partner manager on this. So here I am in the Plug Electronics profit planning tool for fiscal year 2004. I just got a ticket opened up hypothetically, and someone was saying that they're concerned about some data in the revenue column, that there's unprotected sensitive information there, and we're concerned if the data security around that is actually implemented properly. Let's see what they're talking about. They didn't provide much information. If anybody's ever looked at tickets, they really know that information isn't really provided up front. Basically, it's like, this is wrong, fix it, giving you no context. So that's where we're at right now. No context. This is wrong. Fix it. Let's go figure this out. I sent a message asking them for more context, but I'm going to self-service and figure this out on my own. Sigma has a great feature here where I can show my underlying data for revenue. I'm going to start there. Lots of great features here. Again, I'm not demoing the BI and analytics solution, but rather the integration. So I'll skip to that part where that makes sense. I'm looking for some sensitive information. I see states, cities, zip codes, but nothing that attached to a person. Oh, here we go. Customer name. Pretty sensitive information there. Maybe something isn't protected. Let's go take a look. I can clearly see it. I'm an account administrator. I expect to be able to see that. But let's see if that's set up. I know that we're using Atlan. I can tell from the add-on here from Sigma Atlan integration that that's the case. And I know we're using Alter for data security platform. So I don't know exactly how that works though. So I'm going to continue to self-service, use this Atlan plugin. As you can see here, it shifts the context as I shift my navigation. I can go in and do really great things around lineage, looking at different fields, resources for training, for more information, and it moves as I move. It's a very elegant solution here. Again, I'm not here to demonstrate all the fields, and maybe I'll tease you a little bit with some of the cool stuff so you can ask more questions. But I'm going to go into my profit planning tool and navigate directly into Atlan, and I want to figure out what's going on here. So here's my profit planning tool. I'm going to look at lineage. I can see all these Sigma data elements driving the page. Here, seeing how the data flows from here to there. I remember I was looking at revenue. I'm going to continue to look at revenue. And here we are, this revenue data element. I can see a query. I can see all the fields. This looks exactly like what I was just looking like in Sigma. Let me just jump to customer name. This is what's in question. And all these great features where I can see the query, run the query, use Atlan AI. Again, I'm not going to jump into that. Go back into Sigma and look at this, but I'm also going to look at search. Let's look at customer name. I know this isn't Snowflake. I can use many ways to get there. I'm going to use search this time. Customer name, plug electronic hands-on. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Let me go there. So here we are. We're in customer name. It's related to this data set and the plug electronics data set. And I can see here it's related to alter classification term. I know that we ran alter data classification recently, and it gave us all these data classifiers. And our data stewards were able to go in and put tags and tag this information, PI information. I'm going to go see how this is all working. So here's my alter classification first name. I'm now into the Alter Atlan integration. I've already demonstrated the Sigma to Atlan amazing integration that exists. Now, prepare to be overwhelmed or underwhelmed, your choice, on the Atlan, Sigma, and Alter integration combination. So we've run data classification. In the Alter integration, what Alter will do running their data classification is automatically populate the business glossary with two different categories for now. One category being the Alter classification, where we have the list of classifiers that came back from running the classification. Now they can run Snowflake native classification. They can run third-party classifications and other partners. They can run their own classification as well. And it comes back and we create a business glossary of these classifier terms with the relationship. We'll check out email address to the actual columns. So here's an example of the Snowflake columns. Let's go to first name. Here's an example of, here we go, customer name. Here's an example of the columns for first name. So I can also see here that there's a tag associated to that, and I'll get back later on that. So now we know what data kind of exists, what we should be protected. The ALTR integration say, hey, this is what should be protected based off of your automated run of data classification. Here's where that data exists, we believe. And here's who you need to protect it for. These Snowflake roles. This is the other Snowflake, this is the other business glossary category in Atlan that we create. As you can see, we have different roles like account admin, finance manager, marketing manager. So we probably have a high privilege, medium privilege, and low privilege users in there. And this is a simple example. There's going to be much more roles in a real implementation. But as you can see, if I go to account, there's a high tag. This is reflecting of a PI high privilege user. A finance tag, this is an example of a PI low privilege user. And a finance manager, example of a PI medium privilege user. I think it's the same setup for marketing. Yes, medium. And marketing manager and marketing. So now what this gives you is a simple user interface and user experience to do things manually or automatic. I will cover the manual step first. The manual part is where we are able to go over this. A data steward is able, with no code at all, go over these classifications and tag simply with this interface, add tags to a classifier as the high privileged users have access to this. And this affects all privilege, all those roles. Email address is a low privilege user, first name, medium privilege user. Now, what this will do now with a simple amount of configuration that I will cover later that allows this to look magic is send all the metadata necessary to ALTR so that ALTR can talk to Atlan and get even more metadata to gather everything that's needed to automate policy enforcement by basically just reviewing classification results and tagging it. Very, very simple user experience. Now, let's prove it. Here I am in Snowflake. Here's that customer table. We have a high privileged account admin. Let's see what the data should look like. At the high privileged account admin, if you remember from the glossary, all I did was tag that account admin Snowflake role as high privileged. Now, hold your breath while the warehouse wakes up. It shouldn't take too long. Here we go. This is what the data looks like, unprotected. Now we have the marketing manager role. Let's take a look at that. Now, I don't know what kind of masking policies are done on this just yet, but I could probably derive it by looking. Here we are, email, last four, there's 4 digits there. I don't see last name, date of birth isn't protected. I can see the last 4 there for, so there's probably show last 4 for marketing manager. Let's look at the marketing low privilege. So I went from seeing everything to seeing just the last 4 to seeing, let's see here. Here we go. First name, email, fully redacted. So how is this possible? You might be asking yourself. Well, with a very simple setup of configuration that takes no code at all, from an Atlan perspective, I'm able to set this up so I can just tag classifiers and roles and have the policies being forced. So how does it know what to do? How does it know how to do that? Well, we use out of the box Atlan governance and administrative features to do that. And I'll show you right now what those are. From a governance perspective, we first made the tags. It probably took us longer to decide what tags to make than it actually took us to configure this. But PII high, you can see this is related to a purpose here. We'll talk about that in a minute. PI low and PII medium privileges is our basic, very common implementation that we see in the field, where customers like to have a stoplight red, yellow, green privilege or high, medium, low privilege access management users, where they're able to line up their PII data elements to a stoplight setup, where high privilege users get access to a certain subset in a certain way, medium privilege users get access to the data elements in a different way, and then low privilege users barely get any access at all. This is very easy to implement. So we just have these three tags. And then in Atlan, we have a one-to-one relationship with every one of those tags. You can have as many tags as you want. You can decide on what your tag strategy is, your tag taxonomy. It could be a one-to-one for every PII element or PHI element or PCI element. You could use different things like data masking for runtime data access controls or at rest data protection for FPE and data tokenization. So this high privileged Snowflake user purpose is created as a one-to-one relationship with any one of the tags as you decide your tag strategy. So as you see here, Atlan forces you to pick a tag when you create a purpose, and it drives automation in their platform. And we can relate a masking policy to it. As we add this masking policy, you can see that there's no masking on there. We allow query information. This is what we want set up for a high privilege user. This information is metadata that ALTR reads to make the decision on how to mask the information in Snowflake. Now, just for due diligence purposes, medium. When we look at that show last for, that is very consistent to what we saw in the demo earlier. And then low privilege users, low privilege tag, policy, fully redact. So it takes very little time to set up these purposes and tags. And once that's set up and the integration is deployed, you can start populating your glossary and having data stewards go in with no code, tagging their assets, the classifiers and the roles, and having your data protected in an automated fashion. The only thing that needs to be tested is the integration itself from your dev QA perspective. It's very easy. Now, how is that possible? How does ALTR know? Just by tagging, I don't believe you. Well, Atlan has a very nice webhook integration set up where we just set up a ALTR test webhook, and we're able to use the metadata that comes from the user action and the events that come from this webhook of tagging and removing tags from those glossary terms. It gives us the information we need to go out and look at the relationships that exist. So if I go back to the glossary, the relationships are kind of almost like the source of truth here for how ALTR will interact. So email address will pop up. It knows that it's linked to these fields. I saw that's that the Noah field that was querying in Snowflake. It knows it's linked to those fields. It knows it's linked to these. It knows to redact them for marketing manager, marketing role, and account admin. So all of these things being related to each other and having the tags on them is how this is all driven. Go back to that. Here's the tag PII low, PII medium, PII medium. So again, that webhook combined with those purposes and tags is all the metadata necessary that we need for ALTR to do the magic of protecting your data. Now, the demo's not over just now. Now I've shown the Sigma to Atlan, great integration there. Atlan to ALTR, great integration. ALTR to Snowflake. And any application or user accessing that Snowflake data will have to respect those masking policies and that data protection that we provide. So going back to Sigma, I am account admin. I can see all that, but if I would access this as a marketing manager, you would see that information redacted here in the showing underlying data. Well, that's the marketing role would see it redacted. The marketing manager would show less for. It's very simple. It just works, baby. So one of the additional advantages of using this integration in the Horizon program that the ALTR provides this whole setup here is the real-time data access observability. Now, what does that mean? That basically means that ALTR, because we're in line with the policy and the policy execution decision, we are able to show in real time, above and beyond the standard SLAs that Snowflake provides, what data is being accessed, when it's being accessed, how frequently it's being accessed, from where it's being accessed, and we provide this information. This is an example of a custom dashboard that you can create and see all that data in various different ways. You can see a data access timeline, rows accessed by week, popularity of databases, dev QA prod. You can keep on going over and over and over and look at this in any way you would like to, by user, by role, by rows, by table. And you can see anomalous behavior and potential malicious behavior. So a future integration on the roadmap that exists is that Sigma, it allows you to create alerts here. So if I were to look at something in alert, this alert can integrate with the same concept of an alert in ALTR. For ALTR, we have the concept of thresholds and alerting that can be used in various different ways by IP address, by number of rows access, by a few different metrics we can leverage. So that if there's malicious behavior, let's say a high privileged user got their username and password compromised, and a malicious black hat were to get inside to your Snowflake environment and hold you for ransom by taking all of your data, taking down tens of thousands of millions of hundreds of thousands of rows potentially, we could automatically monitor that, be alerted of that, notify all your account admins, and we could shut down that role's access for a certain amount of time until you can review that, because that's not behavior that is normal, right? So we can stop breaches before they actually happen, and when they do happen, have an insurance policy for shutting down access for behavior and data access controls that are anomalous. So again, Snowflake Horizon program with Snowflake, combination of Snowflake, ALTR, Atlan, and Sigma. I hope this integration is something that you see the value in. We certainly see the value in, and our customers see the value in, and we look forward to showing and demonstrating it to everybody. If you have any questions, reach out to one of the reps here on your screen, and we can provide this demo to you and this integration to you as needed. Thank you.